bare-breasted, not a day, just a hop and a skip, oh, fine, we're ready to go, although we shot today, but I was shy, and so they made this big rubber thing for me. It was more embarrassing than being naked, It really was. He'd be on top of me, and the thing would like pop up here. But he was so kind, he was so sweet, because he knew that I was sort of young and innocent, and he was young too, but I was shy. And so, anyway, I didn't get to know him, I didn't become his best friend, and I love hearing the two of you talk about Tony in such sweet ways. But then, much later down the road, we ended up doing film, he and Lou Gossett and I was shooting Adrian Lyons for film Foxes, and I was commuting between Canada and Israel. And I'd seen Tony, I don't know where, where you see people that, over the years, and I've also lost the command of the human language. I'd see him, at a party, or I don't know where, something like that. And he was always warm and friendly. And again, I felt sort of shy, like I didn't really know him. And then I got cast in this movie, but so he arranged the schedule so I could shoot both movies at the same time. So I'd go up and smoke a cigar in a movie with Tony, and passed out one day. I was so busy smoking a cigar. And that was swell, But then we went to then one day. Now this is what I didn't know because I was just watching. The thing broke down, but I'd never seen the movie we're going to see tonight, and I'm glad I didn't, but I only saw half of it, and it was so touching and so just lovely to watch him as a young boy and all the things he overcame, and it was just, it's so lovely and touching. And so my experience with Tony was different in this particular movie. He was having a particular challenge, evidently, and so my experience was always very sweet and loving with him, and one day on the set, there was all these fake bushes and a fake staircase and everything. And I was standing sort of in the middle of it, and Tony suddenly was at the top of the stairs, and he said, I hate this piece of, we can swear, because everyone keeps acknowledging you're Jewish. So, you swear, I know that. I've been married to two Jewish guys. So, anyway, this piece of shit, I hate, this is the worst fucking thing I ever saw in my life, and I hate everyone in here on this set and everywhere. And I'm standing there, he's always been so sweet to me. I go, well, you don't mean me, do you? And he said, especially you. So, for the next couple of days a week that I was shooting up there, I'd kind of hang behind the bushes, the fake bushes, and wait to go on and do my something. So anyway, then the company moved to Israel. So I was commuting. I'd do 3 days here, and then I'd get on a plane and go to Israel and do 2 weeks. And the first week, the first time I went on this commute, I'd hear Tony in the middle of the desert yelling at the director, and the same sort of attitude of, that I'd experienced. And so that there was nothing to hide behind. And we had scenes to do, and everything, and I was still loving him and everything, but just wasn't quite sure which direction it was going to go. And so I went home again and did some more shooting and flew back. And I was standing in the middle of the desert one day, and suddenly this arm goes around me, and there was nothing in this desert. This arm goes around me, and it's Tony. He says, oh, Sally, life is really something, isn't it? There's a real challenge, and here was the real Tony again, really sweet. And so the story has a happy ending. Whatever he had partaken of, he laid down, and was so darling for the rest of the movie. And, as I said, I enjoyed and admired him the whole way anyway. But, and he and Luke Gossett, they were such show-offs. And, we all had to ride horses, and they'd be getting before the take, they'd be like, yeah, rearing up, and then, and everything. And my horse, I'd gotten a good trainer who took me out. My horse was like a movie horse. So they'd say action, and I was like, ding, 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 and they'd be like falling over cut, and get up. But anyway, I enjoyed it, and I've always loved him, so
was great. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. Thank you, Sally. Really funny. And by the way, this movie pulls no punches on Tony's career and what he went through later in his career too, which is interesting. You don't always see it in these kinds of films, and what she was indicating there. Now, Marion, you knew him 1958, 59, where you shot Some Like It Hot, which deserves every bit of applause we can give tonight. And that was a daring move for Tony at that time. I mean, you know, the year before he'd done Defiant Ones, which was risky, but this was really risky, putting on a dress with Jack Lemmon and going for it.
Earlier, something about he was beautiful. He was more beautiful than any of us. We spent a lot of time, I think, more time with him than he wanted to, but he did a lot of waiting for Marilyn. So we hung out a lot together, just on the set, you know, and told each other lies and stuff like that. And but he was fun and he was great. And when I had this scene with him in the bathroom where I run in and out with the ice, where's the ice? The natives are getting restless. He was so adorable because he knew I was terrified. He was so wonderful to me. He kept saying, well, do this and this. And then he said, why don't you say at the end, because it wasn't in the script, he says, after you come in, after you bring the drinks back in again, say, hot diggity dog. I said, do you think I can? Do you think Billy? Anyway, so I came in first for the ice. I ran out. I came back in. He said, bring drinks. I came back. And then he said, I said, boy, that bass player sure knows how to give a party. And I said, hot diggity dog. And they kept it in. They kept it in. And it's not, I still have the original script. And they kept it. But he was so great because he was so patient. He really was. I mean, it wasn't easy. We were thrilled. I mean, I was signed up for 6 weeks. We worked 4 months. 4 months on it. Yeah, which was great.
Is that because of Marilyn's tardiness?
Yeah. And he did make one comment, but it was funny, and no one took it as that, but he did make a comment about kissing her is like kissing Hitler. And of course we sat there. We all sat there and laughed because he had done this fabulous, I've never seen a love scene like this ever in any movie, with her on the boat when they're together and he's trying to tell her that he's impotent or something, whatever. Anyway, and it really was the most kissing scene I've ever seen in my life. And then the next day at the dailies, he says that. So we all just got hysterical. But I have to tell you, he was kind and really nice to the girls, all of us. He was just wonderful. And I saw him 3 years. I saw him 2 years ago in Coronado, and then I saw him 3 years ago. So I have been seeing him through the years, and I'm so glad that he always remembered Olga.
Now, you saw him 2 years ago in Coronado, where the movie was shot.
Yes, I sure did.
Was it a reunion, or what was
Well, I was able to find 7 of the girls, and I got us all invited, and they had a special night for us, and of course a special night for Tony. Yeah, and we stayed there, this time in very nice rooms facing the ocean. Because when we were there, we were in some kind of little, dump. But when we were there this time, it was nice, and it was great to see Tony again.
That was for the 50th anniversary.
Oh, 50th anniversary.
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly. It was. It was the 50th anniversary of the film Some Like It Hot.
What's so great about Some Like It Hot, so many of his movies too, is they're living new lives constantly. We're seeing them come out in new formats and things. I just saw Some Like It Hot on the big screen again in digital. It looked beautiful.
I can't believe it was 50 years.
50 years, yeah.
Wow. More. It's more. It is. And it's, you know what? It's timeless. I don't know. It just. Kids now who are watching are loving it. It's a timeless film. I think it'll stay forever and ever, truthfully.
Now, I'm going to get to you, Max, too, but I want to skip because John Gilmore actually wrote a book, Inside Marilyn Monroe, and tells a lot of stories. Obviously, you knew Tony in the early days at Universal, John, but you know the whole history of him and Marilyn, and it started well before Some Like It Hot. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I'm not in total disagreement with the story, so with that story. And there's all kinds of things around it that I'm not completely in agreement with that.